What is good in the hood? The great battle between poor returners who hates responsibilities, who hate restrictions, he can't be asked to do anything, and he doesn't want to do the work, versus cute little kitten Xenix. Fight! Who's gonna win? Will Xenix win and get a job and become this e-girl or and have a life and get his shit together? Or will the Puertorners win and we remain hard stack silver IRL for the rest of our lives? Let's see. So round two, we started the fight and here is what happened. I hit him. He hits me back. I hit him. He hits me back. Now, to be honest, I'm just gonna keep it short. We were just trading blows. I'll just apply for jobs and then I'll procrastinate the day after, and then the day after that I would apply for jobs and then procrastinate and just going back and forth. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss what am I gonna do about that. So I spent the past 3 weeks or so taking action on this, applying for jobs and doing my best. Obviously not perfect. I skipped some days here and there, but I tried my best. However, I ended up actually landing an interview. I pulled up to the interview and I answered the question, and I failed miserably. I didn't fail miserably. It was all right. Like, the interview was okay. I just didn't sell. I didn't. I didn't convince the guy. I was mostly talking about myself, and I can't believe. Like, I studied sales and marketing. I can't believe I went to this interview, and instead of asking him questions and trying to figure out what he wants so that I can sell the thing, I started talking about myself like a retard. So the interview flopped, and I didn't get the job, unfortunately. But I got something that is very, very fucking powerful, which is a positive feedback loop. Now it's impossible that I don't land a job. It's impossible for me to stop right now because of this. So you see in life, right? Sometimes there's a way to crack this, right? Where when you take action, you're a small action, right? A small win. It doesn't matter how small it is. If you do it the right way, a small win can feed into the next one. So you start off by taking action, right? You challenge yourself a little bit. And if you overcome that challenge, even if it's a small one, you gain confidence and you gain motivation. And now you want to take more action so that you can get that feeling again and again. And so you repeat this process until you actually get what you want. And this is what's happening to me right now after that interview. So at the start of this, I was struggling. I was like forcing myself to, apply, force myself to come on, get up, just do it and shit. But now that I got results from my effort, I'm a lot more likely to continue and push forward. So I'll give you like some examples here, to solidify this idea further. So imagine there's like this fat pig, and he wants to lose weight. So what do? He starts taking action, he starts exercising, and then he loses a little bit of weight. And now he's happy. He's happy that he lost some weight, but it doesn't just stop there. It goes back again. So now he wants to lose more weight, and it keeps on repeating until, he doesn't have any more weight. And this is actually, happening with the YouTube channel as well. I uploaded video at the start, and then I get views. I see like 94%, 94% more views than the previous 28 days. I get happy, and I want to upload more videos. And this is what happened with the job. So I applied, I got the interview, and now I'm in this loop. But there is a problem with this loop, okay? What happens if you challenge yourself and you put in the effort, but you don't actually overcome the problem? What do? So this is where you pause. So you want to pause and you want to take a step back, okay? Because, to get better at something, it's not just about how many hours you've put in, but it's also about what you did during those hours. So at the start, you put in the effort, right? At the start, you take action. You don't think about any of this. You don't think about what I'm about to say, right? But once you took action, right? Once you, took the initial steps, now it's time to move to the next thing here, which is reviewing your game plan. So you start now and then figure it out later. That's the first step. And then the second step is a cycle as well, where you figure it out now and then you start later. And you just keep on switching between these two, switch between action and reviewing results. Basically, you take action, you review the results, see what happens, and then you take action and then you review the results, and you keep on repeating until you get what you want. So the reason why you want to take action first, right? You don't start by reviewing results. You start by taking action, right? It's because you move from 0 to 1. As someone who didn't take action, as a complete beginner, anything is improvement. If you have 0, right, action taken, or 0 experience, 0 knowledge, anything is a plus. If you are at 0, anything is a plus. You want to go from 0 to 1, But once you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now you review what happened so that you can get even faster to like 12 and 15 and 20, But the question then becomes, well, when do you exactly do that? When do you go from taking action to reviewing the results and analyzing what's going on and, creating a plan, When does that happen? You do that when you've hit a plateau. So as you can see here, right, this shows you efforts to performance. So effort against results, right? So on the x-axis here, we have like how much action you took, and on the y-axis, the results that you get, right? So at the beginning, as you can see, anything is an improvement, right? You put in like attempts, right? So for example, here, we could say like this is applying for jobs, right? You apply to 20 different jobs, you get results, right? So here, like you made the CV, you're talking to people, you're learning the basic skills, you're learning how to speak, you're getting interviews, you're learning from your mistakes. But then at some point, more effort does not mean more results. So it's around here, around the 40s or 60s, as you can see. And that's exactly actually what I did. I've applied for a lot of jobs. I applied to like 30 or 40 or so in the past 3 weeks or something. Yeah, around there, like around 30 application, It's not that much. I should increase it to a lot more than that. But at some point, now when you plateau, this is where you move to the next phase, right? And that's what I want to do here, okay? And there are two things that we're going to do here to be able to improve and to be able to, solve this problem faster, okay? So the first thing that I want to figure out is action, right? I'm not putting in enough reps. I want to figure out why am I not putting in enough reps and how to get that. And to do this, it's very simple. I've already learned about this a long time ago, and I know the solution already. It's basically principles of behavior change, from cognitive therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? So there are 4 steps to changing behavior and improving action and improving behavior, right? The first thing is to make what you're doing obvious, right? So to do this, to apply this principle, I am gonna wake up, and the first thing that I'm gonna look at is job. So you see, when you if it's present to your senses, if you can see it with your eyes, if you can sense it and all of that, right, you are a lot more likely to take action on that thing. You get like triggered, you get a cue, and now you remember that thing that you need to do. So first thing first is that you gotta introduce it to your, sensory experience, The second thing that you wanna do is that you wanna make it attractive. So when you look at it, right, like I said, so it's gonna be the first thing that I do in the morning, right? And then you gotta make it beautiful. So I have this document called self-engineering. It's basically a way to, kind of like program the subconscious mind and paint the picture of the final vision and, make it in your head. How can I say this? It's similar to like visualization and all of that, but it's not exactly that. Basically conditioning, yeah, that's the perfect word. You condition your mind to love this thing, right? So that's making it attractive and beautiful. And then making it easy, so that now when you're taking action, when you're doing the things, you're not burning a lot of calories, and it's actually easy to do, so that you can do like a lot of reps and you can output a lot, right? And the way I'm gonna do that is by getting a scooter. So we have this electrical scooter, but the charger of it was hidden for a long time, and it wasn't hidden. It was like somewhere in the house, and we didn't know where is it. And so I just searched up the house, and I found it. It's just that before that nobody was bothered to find it. So it was thrown there for a long time, and now I found it. And the second thing is that I'm going to start applying for online jobs, right? So I'm going to start applying online. And the third thing is that I'm going to look for agencies, and there are some agencies who help you for free find a job. And I'm also going to start talking to my friends and see if anybody have something like that. Okay, this is going to be the way of how I'm going to make this easy, because with the scooter, the scooter is going to help me a lot, because I was going, walking, I would walk so much, and that was so draining, it was so tiring. But now with the scooter, I'll be able to, do a lot more with much less effort, and then the last thing is to make it rewarding. So the thing you're gonna take action on, you need to receive some sort of like reward after your effort, right? So for me, that's like anime. It's going. So after I finish, I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna watch anime and chill, and then knowledge. I like reading books. I like reading about systems thinking and that stuff. And then making these videos. So these videos, I find them like very entertaining, and they're very fun to make. So that's going to be my reward. Once I apply for jobs in the morning or in the afternoon or however, whenever I'm going to do that, the second I'm finished, I'm going to do these three. Okay. And I will also apply the scientific method. I've already done this, right, to my productivity previously, and fuck me, is it powerful. Holy shit, is it powerful. Okay, so I'm gonna run an experiment. I'm gonna see what works and what doesn't work, and I'm gonna track my progress. I'm gonna build a hypothesis and all of that, and I'm gonna see the cause and effect relationship, right? The whole purpose behind the scientific method is to identify cause and effect. So the effect here is actually action, right? People think that, action is the cause. You take action and then you get a result. But action in of itself as well is also an effect, So you take action on, so you do something, or something happens here, and then you take action, and then you get the results, right? Which is the job that you want, right? But there is that thing. What is that, right? I know the answer already. The answer to that is mostly these two right here. So it's making it obvious as soon as I open my eyes. The first thing I'm gonna do is looking into the self-engineering document that I make. I know this works because I've already done an experiment before. You know what? Actually, let me show you the experiment that I did. All right, I finally fucking found it. So I've already ran the experiment here before, right? So first of all, you start with observation, right? You look at like already what is the starting point, what you're already doing, and how can we improve it, right? So I looked at like, average wake up time, average sleep time, if I'm meditating or not, if I'm doing my, this is like the thing that I told you about engineering, the self and shit, the mindset program. And I tracked the progress, and then I did the second experiment, right? I built a hypothesis, and I said, if I do these every single day, I'm gonna get results, and it worked. It worked. So if I told, so I didn't write down, write down the experiment here, but the track log, like what I'm gonna note here, is already tracked, and it's here, So for example, if you see like here, waking up at 8, for example, waking up at 7. I was waking up early, Here you see like waking up at 6, doing the work. And 8. Honestly, this is not really waking up very early. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but no, here, look, 3 a.m. Motherfucker, I was waking up. This is where I was testing, the experiment. I remember this. I was waking up at fucking 3 and doing all of this shit. This was like a rest day, waking up at 5, 2. Here, I woke up at 2 fucking 30, bro. I went to bed at 7 p.m. Holy shit, 4 a.m. wake up, 4 a.m., 2 a.m. again. God damn. This is a rest day, 8 a.m. wake up, 6 a.m. Look at this, 3 a.m. fucking wake up, bro. And then deep work, 5 sessions of deep work. I don't think you understand how difficult that is. Bro, this is not some normal work. Like, this is deep work. You read the book, Deep Work by Cal Newport, and you'll know how fucking hard this shit is. This is no joke. It's so fucking difficult. And I was pumping session after session after session with high focus as well. Insane. So I know what works and what doesn't work. This is why I'm like very confident in my ability here of like what I'm gonna be able to get, So let's keep going. So for the experiment, again, I'm gonna run just a new experiment and we're gonna see what happens, right? So that's for action. The second thing that I'm gonna have to do here is focus, you know? So it's not enough to just take action because otherwise it's going to be like this, right? So 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers in one direction gets you further than 1 kilometer in 10 different directions, you know? And this is the problem. This is what I was doing with my jobs applications, is that I was applying to everyone and everybody. I was applying to bars, I was applying to restaurants, I was applying to supermarkets, and that's not enough. That's not good because if your CV doesn't is not aligned with that specific industry, then they're not gonna take you. They're gonna say, "Ah, nah, you're a little bit of everything, and we don't want that. We want someone who's really good at this specific thing," you know. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna target more supermarkets, or if I'm gonna target other ones, I'm gonna make it like new CVs that are specifically for these people, right? So that's what I'm gonna do here. That's the plan, and yeah, thank you for watching. See you next.